What I'm about to say could directly affect your right to free bus travel if you are a retiree or close to retirement age in the UK. Stop what you're doing right now. Tens of thousands of older people across the UK don't know that the rules for the free bus pass have changed. Some of you may no longer be eligible even though you don't know it. Other people may be holding on to an outdated pass, thinking it still works, and some of you may be waiting for a pass that you will no longer automatically get on your birthday. This isn't a small change. The details are very important because this is one of the biggest changes to discounted travel in over 10 years. You will know exactly where you stand, what you need to check, and what you need to do right now to protect your free travel benefit by the end of this movie, the big change that all English pensioners will have to deal with. Let's start with the biggest change, the one that hundreds of thousands of people are already going through right now. English people will have to be 67 years old instead of 66 from April 2026 on to get a free bus pass. There is no truth to that story or guess. The English National Concessionary Travel Scheme, or ENCTS, has stated that this change will happen as part of the scheme. The move by the government to raise the state pension age directly led to the change. The age will gradually rise from 66 to 67 between 2026 and 2028, and it will reach 68 between 2044 and 2046. In simple terms, this means this. You will have to wait until you are 67 years old to get your free bus pass if you were born after a certain date and were 65 years old before. You will have to pay for bus fare on your own for an extra year. For many retirees on fixed incomes, that means they will lose a lot of money. It's not just about money for people in rural places who depend on the bus to go to the doctor, the store, or to see family. It has to do with freedom, movement, and living a good life. The bus pass has always been tied to the state income age instead of a set age, which is why this change happened. So, when the age to get an income goes up, so does the age to get a bus pass. This is something the government has made clear. As of 2014, the Pensions Act sped up the process of raising the state pay age. This plan was made years ago, but a lot of older people didn't know that their right to a bus pass would be taken away at the same time. The government spends about £700 million a year on the plan, and that cost has been going up as the population ages. The Department for Transport has been looking into how the scheme will work financially in the long run. Increasing the age limit is part of their plan to keep costs down while keeping the benefit for future generations. Who will be most affected? Let's be clear about who is having the most difficult time with this change. In England, if you are 66 years old and living in a certain area, you may be waiting for your bus pass but not getting it, or being told that you do not yet qualify. Because the age requirement is now higher, you might have to wait a few months or even a whole year longer than your friends who got their pass before the change. It depends on your exact date of birth and the month in the transition window. People who are between the old and new qualifying ages, or about 700,000 older adults, will be stuck in this gap. These are people who thought they were entitled to certain things in retirement and planned their retirement around those things. Now they are finding that the aims have changed. Over 100,000 people signed a petition against this change, which led to an official debate in Parliament. Tony Benn, a Labour MP, brought up the problem in Parliament, questioning the idea that people in their early to mid-60s are financially stable. He said that compared to 2010, about 250,000 more people in this age group are now living in relative poverty. What an amazing number! It really makes you understand how hard this change is making things. The big change in the UK. These are some facts that a lot of people in England don't know, and when they do, they get very angry. People in Scotland who are 60 years old or older can get a free bus pass. The National Entitlement Card is used in Scotland. People aged 60 and up and disabled people can take the bus for free. In Wales, people over 60 can also travel for free, and in many cases, this applies to travel at any time of the day, not just during off-peak times. The Smart Pass system is different for people who live in Northern Ireland. It has its own rules and requirements for who can use it. You have to wait until you are 67 years old if you live in England though. That's 7 years of difference between what a 60-year-old in England gets and what a 66-year-old Scot gets. A lot of people are angry about this unfairness, and activists have been working hard to get England to return to a starting age of 60 like the rest of the UK. But for now, the English system is still tied to the rising state pension age, and that doesn't look like it will change anytime soon. The 60+ Oyster Photocart is a locally funded program that lets people over 60 move for free in London. If you live in London, you should know about this. The Liverpool City region also has a program that helps people with low incomes move, but these are the rare cases, not the norm, and they depend on political will and money from the local council. What's different about extensions and verification? The main news is the rise in age, but that's not the only change you need to know about. There are also important changes to the way the plan is being run. Checks for eligibility are getting more detailed and stricter when people apply for or renew their license. It doesn't matter if you are asking for your first bus pass or renewing an old one, you will need to show stronger proof of your age, address, and residency. The government says these stricter checks are meant to bring the system up to date, cut down on scams, and make sure that public money goes to people who really deserve it. Now, local governments are in charge of more applications and renewals. England as a whole still follows the same national rules for eligibility, but there may be small changes in how applications are handled and what paperwork is needed in different areas. In other words, the process of getting a bus pass can be different based on where in England you live. Passes need to be renewed every so often. Most passes are good for 5 years, after which they need to be updated. If your pass's expiration date is getting close, don't think it will instantly renew. To renew it, you need to call your local council. Under the new rules, your eligibility will be checked again against the new requirements when you renew it. If you just moved and haven't told the local council about your new home, your renewal could be delayed or become more difficult. It's also important to know that some towns are raising replacement fees if more than one is asked for in a short amount of time. It's more important than ever to keep your paper bus pass safe. If you lose or break yours, you should tell your council right away. Also, keep in mind that getting new ones may now cost money. What doesn't change? Now, and this is important. There's been a lot of misunderstanding and false information going around online, so let's be clear about what won't change. The free bus pass program is not being taken away. This is something the government has made very clear. The main benefit of free local bus travel during off-peak hours for qualified people stays the same. You can still use a legal bus pass if you already have one. You don't have to apply again right away unless your pass is about to expire. Current pass users will not lose their rights all of a sudden. The hours of free travel are mostly the same. In most parts of England, you can drive for free starting at 9:30 a.m. during the week and all day on weekends and holidays. Some governments may make small changes to the rules about peak hours, but the idea of free travel during off-peak hours stays the same. For disabled people, the rules mostly stay the same. There are different rules for disabled people who want to get a bus pass, and the age limit does not apply to them. You can still get a free bus pass at the national level if you meet the requirements for people with disabilities. These include serious visual impairment, deafness, a disability that keeps you from driving, or trouble walking. In order to renew, local governments may still ask for up-to-date medical proof, like a letter confirming that the person is receiving benefits or a medical certificate, but the basic right is still protected. It's also still only good for local and regional bus lines with the bus pass. It can't be used on trains, buses or trams, but some local transportation officials offer better versions that can be used on more types of transportation. What you need to do right now. In that case, what should you do today? This is what every retired person needs to check. Find out first when you can get your state pay. The age at which you can get a free bus pass in England is now directly linked to the state pension age, and that age is going up. You need to know your exact qualifying age by entering your date of birth. You can use the state income age calculator on the gov.uk website to find out. Don't think you know how old you are to get a state pension. Because of changes in the last few years, many people's qualified ages are now higher than they thought they would be. The second thing you should do is check the date on your current bus pass right now. Look at the date when you pick it up and turn it over. If it's going to expire in the next few months, you should start the renewal process right away with your local government. Don't wait until the last minute. With the new rules, refills are being handled more carefully, so it could take longer than before. Third, call your city or town hall to make sure your address is correct. If you moved in the last few years and haven't changed your information, your old address may still be on your bus pass. This could make it take longer or be harder to apply for renewal or replacement. Fourth, if you are a disabled person, make sure that the paperwork that backs you up is up to date. You might need to show new proof of your situation, medical evidence, or benefits award letter when you renew your pass again. Fifth, if you live in England and are getting close to 66 or 67 years old, don't just expect that your pass will show up. If you want to know exactly when you can use the new rules based on your date of birth, call your local government or go to gov.uk. Sixth, the rules are different in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Check the website of your country's government or transportation body to make sure you're eligible and to find out about any new information in your area, what activists are saying, and how much money it costs. Take a moment to think about why this is so important to so many people. The free bus pass is more than just useful. It is the only way for millions of seniors to stay alive. It lets older people keep up with friends and family, go to doctor's appointments, visit family, go to stores and community centers, and keep up the social ties that are so important for their mental and physical health as they age. Transport poverty, or not being able to pay to travel, has been linked to more loneliness, depression, and a general drop in well-being among older people. Over the past few years, the cost of living has gone up a lot. This puts a lot of stress on retirees who are on fixed incomes. Budgets are already tight because of things like utility bills, food prices, council tax, and now the thought of bus fares. People who get a state salary can lose hundreds of pounds a year in bus fares if they lose even a few months of free travel. Campaigners and groups that help pensioners have been very clear that they want things to be better. The point being made is not hard to understand. If the government can afford to let people over 60 travel for free in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, then they should be able to do the same in England.